The era of industrial robots are being challenged. Welding cobots are stepping into the spotlight. This challenge is happening so much fast than most people think. Hello, I'm Roy. Today we'd like to talk about welding cobot challenge industrial robot. Now you might think that industrial robots are mature, precise, and reliable. How could they be replaced? I know that, but let's look at the data. Industrial robots were introduced into China from about 1996. That's almost 30 years. And in that time, most installations has reached about 400,000 units. That sounds impressive, right? But where these 400,000 robots being used, they are mostly concentrated in industries like two-wheelers, three-wheelers, and medical devices. What we call the thin plate, thin or tubers or pipers. But this entire segment only makes up about 20% of the whole welding market. So what about the other 70%? It's heavy industry. Shipbuilding, construction, machinery, mining equipment, steel structures, bridges, and in the massive sector, the automation rate using industrial robots is less than 5%. Why can't the industrial robot capture this 70% of the market? The core reason is very simple. Heavy industrial robot is all about small batches but highly mixed. You are welding 3 meters today, but 5 meters tomorrow. You are welding a circular ring today, but an inner tomorrow. Order quantities can be a few pieces. Today, maybe only 2 pieces. But traditional industrial robots need professional programming, precise fixtures, and dedicated production lines. They are built for high volume production to amortize the cost, reprogramming, and re-fixturing for every piece. You know the cost, and the downtime time is simply unacceptable. So, what do cobots solve these fundamental problems? They do it with three keys. First, they are programming free and easy to use. They use drag-to-teach technology. You grab the robot arm and show it what to do. It's very easy. An ordinary welder can be trained to operate it professionally in just a few days. So no special programming needed. Second, they do not need complex fixtures. Just position the robot and it can start work. Switching from one workpiece to another tomorrow is just a simple adjustment of the data. It's about flexibility. Third, the investment cost of cobot is low now. A single cobot often costs about from 20,000 US dollars. One worker can operate 2 or 3 cobots. For many companies, the return on investment is less than 1 year, dramatically reducing the labor cost. Most importantly, the most important is welding quality. Cobot welding, the quality is highly consistent. It doesn't fluctuate like human welders, who can have good days, maybe have bad days. We estimate cobot can handle 70% to 80% of the welding task in that untapped 70% of heavy industry markets. Let's give you a real example. Earlier this year, I visited a company in northwest of China that makes large mining equipment. They had about 150 welders. After our assessment, we found they could use about 70 units of our welding cobot. What about the results? They could potentially reduce their workforce to just 15 ordinary operators to manage those 70 units of welding cobots. Why? Because some welders can take over 1 hour. It's very long time. So one person can easily supervise 8 to 10 sets of welding cobots. Not only did they dramatically reduce their dependency of skilled labor, but more importantly, their welding pass rates jumped from 85% to 98%. Reorg rates plummeted. See, the value of welding cobot isn't about chasing the extreme precision of industrial robots. It's about solving the real pain point of heavy industrial robots. Heavy industry, high cost, unstable quality, and small batches, high mixed production. So here is my core prediction. The current installed base of cobots in China now is around 5,000 units, but I forecast by 2026 the annual installations will exceed to 4,000 units, and for the next 8 to 10 years the market will maintain 40% compound annual growth rates. Why am I so confident? I want to introduce several reasons. First, the welder population is aging. The backbone of workforce are those born in 60s and 70s, and they are retiring. 2. Welder salaries are rising, becoming a rigid major cost for companies. 3. Automation levels in heavy industry are still extremely low, represent a massive untapped market. 4. The technology now is mature and affordable. The cost and easy use have finally reached the tipping point. Welding cobots aren't winning because they are technical advanced, but they are winning because they understand the customers' needs better. Industrial robots pursue extreme precision for mass production, but what heavy industry need is flexibility, simplicity, and cost efficiency. Cobot perfectly occupies the sweet spot between full automation and manual welding. They solve the welder shortage without requiring a massive capital investment. They guarantee consistent quality while remaining flexible enough for small batches. So, if you are the owner or manager in shipyard, steel structure, engineering machinery or mining equipment, if you are struggling to find workers, manage raising wages, and stable your welding quality, you will look for a solution, and you will find it in welding cobot. This is 70% of the market that has an automation rate only reach 5%. The window of the opportunity won't stay open forever. The earlier you start, the sooner you will reap the benefits. I'm Roy. Thanks very much.